Helen Rhymes, City. Sorry. Helen Rhymes, City of St. Petersburg.
Officer Filipponi, St. Pete PD.
Zach Gage, Pinellas County Sheriff's Office.
Chris Jacobs, Pinellas County Sheriff's Office.
Victoria Kelly, Homeless Leadership Alliance of Pinellas.
All right, thank you. So with that, and I should have said we called meeting order before that, but we called the meeting to order. We do not have minutes for today. There was not enough time to get those completed, but we will have those at the February recap meeting. I do, going slightly out of order, the February recap meeting is scheduled for the 13th, so early Valentine's Day for us to celebrate at a point in time. I believe there'll be some cookies and maybe some coffee for us to celebrate at the end of that. So please come in person. For everyone virtually, I know typically we have a few more in person, but the the storm and whatever else is going on. But if you could please come in person on the 13th so we can celebrate the end of the point in time season. Volunteer recruitment, I'm happy to say, you can see it also in the agenda packet. We're over 400, which was our goal. So our goal was to get over 400. I might have been worried about that at the beginning of December, but we got there. I did see a few press releases. I think the Catalyst and some others, local smaller ones, did some press on that.
I do have a couple of feelers out with Bay News 9 and ABC Action News as well, and WUSF. They've reached out to do interviews. I'm working on scheduling them. Hopefully I get them scheduled really soon. I'm working on it.
And I feel like we're in a good space volunteer-wise.
Can I just ask a question about that? So volunteer-wise, I heard yesterday, and I guess maybe I've heard it before, but didn't take it in this way. So is PD not signing up as volunteers? How do we count them? So like City of St. Pete, we have people going out to volunteer. How do we count our true numbers for City of St. Petersburg?
So last year, how we did it was on the back end. I looked at everybody in law enforcement who had entered into the digital survey.
Okay.
And that's how I got my PD FD numbers last year.
We could also switch that. I don't know if this would be helpful for you all, is to get an attendance sheet. But
I have a attendance sheet for all the sheriff's department people, and then for the other municipalities when they come to the training on the 23rd. That
because
was
we'll have to do, I mean, we're gonna have to create profiles for them anyway, so we'll know how many attended training to, maybe.
I have a sign-in sheet for all that.
Well, so I don't want to get ahead, but since Helen got us ahead.
Dominique did.
Yeah. Do they all need to register ahead of time? Because can
No.
they download this app and have it all installed with the sign-in for?
No, they would need, so we would need everyone's emails before to create, for them to be able to do it live. So in that training, all your sheriff's ones can do it, but the other ones would be watching it and doing it independently. So if you wanted them to have profiles to do it live, then she would need everyone's email before. Victoria.
So in order for them to download the app,
For them to log in.
For them to
and
log in
and
and do
do
the
a
app.
practice.
you guys need it ahead of time, right? Okay.
So that was, I don't know what you guys did in the past. I don't know what you all did with the software last year.
Well, the
I think they just had to download.
Outreach Group Contributor was on the hub, and
Yeah.
it was a secured, it had been vetted.
Yeah, and you just.
So we just downloaded the app, and then we went in and did everything during training day. But since this one's different, and I guess because you're going through ArcGIS,
Yep.
and it's a county program,
Yeah.
so we had to go and get passwords made for all the deputies. Now, if the other municipalities and other agencies need it, then I'll get with Lieutenant H, and we'll go get the emails for all those officers and see if we can get that sent out. Because I could send it to the same place I sent the ones for deputies and get them.
I would send it through Victoria.
Okay.
That way there's that consistent.
Okay.
That.
I think I copied you on the email that they got everything. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, that's kind of what we're learning about, because if we don't want them to come into this training on next Tuesday when we do it for the pit, they don't have anything ready to go. Okay, so anybody that's doing it, they've got to confirm, you catching this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, because I know Clearwater tried to do it, and they had to get some people squared away because they couldn't, so. Okay, cool, we got it, great.
Yeah, I'll just have to fill it all.
And are you, I've got an email working, are you the point of contact for?
Yeah, send them to me. If you want, you can CC Dominique on it. That won't hurt, but yeah, you can send them to me.
So like if their agencies have issue logging in, creating anything?
Yep.
Okay, good luck.
And it's
Yeah.
That being said, in the app last year, it was a little different, from what I understand, for a police or fire personnel doing the PIT online. We actually registered, there was a drop down, volunteer or first responder. Is it the same?
For this one, we don't have a specific
There's no
first
separation.
responder
There's no
zone.
separation?
Yeah, we don't have a specific first responder zone for this one.
I think that was her question, to separate us out and make sure that we got counted.
I mean, that could honestly easily be added. That is an update that could happen in the app.
It's up to you guys.
I think that's the only way we'll know where first responders are going versus other volunteers. I mean, outside of where they're being deployed anyway, right? But when we come back to look at the data, we'll be able to say, well, wait a minute, first responders were here and not.
Yeah, so there's the GPS, basically one of the first screens is a GPS location, and then you could also move it around. And then there's the option to do enter your zone. And the zone is really only a filter process, which would work for this first responder filter as well. So they can add that, and then it will just be an update. It won't impact the training or anything like that.
Right.
So, yeah.
So what you're saying is you are gonna have that updated to have a separation of first responder versus volunteer, yes or no?
I can let you know by the end of the meeting.
That's fine.
I'm missing the person right now. I'm 99.9% sure, but I'm not about that, so. I'm not BTS and I don't wanna be, so.
They've done some really great work on this project, really, really impressive, and incredibly grateful for Dapo and Allison and the whole team. Can I ask a question while Dominique is doing that? Is there anybody in here who hasn't yet registered for PIT? Because I have to say, I was looking at the volunteer registration list and noticed that some of our committee members have not registered for PIT yet. I'm not gonna call anybody out by name. I don't think I see anybody in this room who hasn't done it yet. But online, I know there are a few of you who haven't signed up for PIT yet. Please don't make me call you out by name.
Is it still open?
Yep,
Is that
volunteer registration will be open until training ends, so we'll close it on the 15th. Last day of training is the 16th.
I'm gonna do an in-house training on Thursday and Friday. Do I get the passwords from you, from our people, so they can download before they come?
Yeah, you need to give me a list of everybody who you will be training, and I'll send you the username and password for it. Thank you.
Okay. All right, any comments from online?
Online, we have a couple of, I know that I haven't, so I will. Thank you, appreciate you.
Appreciate your honesty there. Let's see. You said yes. So yes, there'll be a first responder drop down on right after the GPS map. Okay. So important dates and information to keep. Honestly, if you wanna just if you're doing a lot with point in time, if you're the tech person for your agency, this next half of this page is really kind of your bread and butter for the next couple weeks. So the survey, obviously, January 25th, if you don't know that by now, let's talk. Registration ends the 15th. There's the volunteer registration as well as the team leader registration. If you're still recruiting or need to register. Volunteering, there's the 4 shifts as well as some additional deployments, sub-deployments happening, including law enforcement. The training is 1 hour virtually. I think I did the first virtual training. It was 1 hour and 2 minutes, so we did it. All right, it can be done. And then And that was with troubleshooting a little bit, and the app, of course. And then there's some in-person options happening as well. So I believe there's a Clearwater one, is it downtown? I assume downtown Clearwater. There's one gonna be at PSTA headquarters. I'll be out there next Tuesday, and then there's one that just recently got scheduled at City Hall on Friday. There is, Victoria confirmed before we started the meeting that she'll be sending out a new email to get those dates out again. The rest of the training options are all virtual, and there are more than we need, to be quite honest, virtual options. So it's up to them to choose that. There's also some volunteer recruitment, flyers, links to all of those things per usual. Social media pushes, as well as the difference of recruiting a volunteer versus now getting the information out of things like the youth point in time, the specific program of that, but also in the community. You can see here this flyer was updated.
April, can you verify, or Grace, if you're on the line, can you verify that the address in that this day of flyer is right? I know that was an issue that we had in,
I don't think it's 21.
It's actually incorrect. It's 3831.
It's 3
Okay. Sam, are you on the line? Or Reagan? Can one of you guys update that and send it out today?
Yes, I can get that updated.
Thank you, Reagan.
So it should be 3831 5th Avenue North.
Okay. Glad we caught that one, guys.
There's also the potential to switch, if you are a traditional volunteer, want to switch to a team lead, there's also that option to switch that. I'll be honest, when I was in charge of this years ago, when I was a larger part of this years ago, I would promote people to lead, so that may have to happen again. So just, if you know someone, or if you are willing and able to be a team lead, please please let them know. But if you've done it a couple of years and you're at an agency that people know, you may get promoted. Okay?
City of St. Pete, may be promoting quite a few of your volunteers to team leads, if that's okay with you.
Can you let me know who they are, or?
Yes.
Later, it doesn't have to be now.
Yes.
So maybe we can have like a sidebar conversation with them.
Yeah.
Maybe there could be a reason why they didn't do team leading, maybe they can't stay the whole time or whatever, I don't know.
I can definitely do that.
I'm on for a team lead already, right?
I think you are, but I wasn't sure if you were gonna do youth instead of team lead, so I was gonna
I'm
ask.
doing both.
You're doing both,
I'm
okay.
gonna do in the morning, regular pit, and then.
Oh, okay. AM pit, PM youth, awesome. We'll update my list now, thank you.
I just have a general question. We have, our bosses allow us to have one shift. Well, obviously I'll be doing more. But some people have signed up for like 4 options, and if it happens that do we just go right to you and you change it if they get assigned?
So if they put down that they registered and they could work more than one shift, so the volunteer registration gives you the option to select all 4 shifts if you want. And then there's another question that says, are you available to work 1 shift, 2 shift, 3 shift, or 4 shift? If you have somebody who needs to update that, please have them reach out to me now. Please do not have them reach out to me after I have scheduled volunteers.
I was like, I need
Yeah.
to see if she's taking the day off.
Yeah.
Or she's.
So everybody should know that's a really important point that I'm glad Sarah brought up. Volunteer scheduling is a bear. I will lock myself in a room, I will not answer my phone, I will come out looking like the living dead, and volunteers will be scheduled. I ask everybody to please let me know if you have any scheduling updates before I start that process. Volunteer schedules will go out on the 19th, and I will start volunteer scheduling as soon as volunteer training ends. So please let me know if you or your team have any updates now. I have a folder so that when I'm putting all those emails into the folder, so that when I start doing that scheduling, I'll go ahead and take them into consideration. I want to make sure that I do get everybody the right schedule, and I want to make sure that we are filled for the day, so please let me know if those updates come through. On that note, also, if you are volunteering as a group and you did not put it in your volunteer form, please let me know, and I will do my best to get you together in the same deployment area and whatnot. We also recommend, and we tell volunteers this during training as well, that if you are volunteering as a group, at least one member of your team show up to the deployment center, regardless of your status as lead or volunteer. Show up 30 minutes early so that you can say at the deployment center, hey, me and my team members from MetroMin want to go out together. I'm here, and we're gonna have 3 people who are coming. And then the deployment center will do their best to get you all together.
And I do want to caveat, do your best, because I have
Yes.
had, we've had groups of 10 want to come together, and we've had like a group
No people.
leave, someone else comes, so, just like sending your kids to camp, it's not guaranteed.
Okay.
Okay, so,
Reagan has already updated that flyer, by the way, and put it in the chat in Zoom for us, so we can get that out to everybody. Downloading it now. Thank you, Reagan.
So the lead training this year is new, and so, it's a completely virtual option. And it's pre-recorded, so they can do it at their own pace. There is one virtual live, is that correct?
Yep, so for lead training this year, there is the video, it is on YouTube. Y'all, I got the lead training video down to 40 minutes. I want you to know that I was patting myself on the back and doing a happy dance yesterday for that 40-minute training video. Then there's a quiz. The quiz is, 10 to 12 questions, something like that, just to prove that they watched the video. If they don't want to watch the video or if they want to watch the video, they can also come to a Q&A session we're doing. We're doing one Q&A session on the 16th, just so you can come get your questions answered. If you would prefer as a team leader to do an actual training session, there will be one virtual training session for team leaders. So we'll have a training session at 3 p.m. on Thursday the 11th. If you come to that as a team leader, you do not have to do the video and quiz. But otherwise, there's a video and quiz. Just do it on your own by 12:30 p.m. on Wednesday the 16th.
And it's already in there, first responders. Look at that.
We still don't have access, but I take your word for it.
That's awesome.
All right, where are we at now? So team lead training, and then first responder training, I know we kind of spoke about it already. So everything is, do you guys have an idea of how many are coming at this point?
We're trying. Well, we got 30.
We got 30 from the sheriff's office, so, and there's probably gonna be, what do you got?
1, 2,
7.
3,
7.
5, 6,
So probably on the average about 5 to 10 from each municipality.
about another 30, so that's all.
And you said Stiff, he did his own for
Yeah.
Connor, is that what happened?
He's having,
The officers?
I think he's having everybody pretty much do the one general clear water training.
Okay.
And then they're coming to ours too.
As far as I know.
Depending on their schedule, yeah.
They're doing both?
He told me yesterday, he's having them go to both, so.
Okay.
Oh, where am I at, lost my space. Lost my space, okay. There is a training follow-up survey, is there any feedback worth sharing, have you looked at those at all?
I only had 2 of them the last time that I saw, and it was, we liked training, good job. So no meaningful contributions yet. But last year, like 90 people filled out that survey, and we did get some really meaningful feedback last year. So I think that we'll get some this year too.
Okay.
That's a test, you're gonna
Yeah, they're gonna have to put something in front of the rain comes in.
They're probably just gonna lock the door.
Yeah, it's just a double, it's, yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, is that, okay, good.
Yes, they did.
just ready for action, yeah, all right. And then, is there any other comments on this?
Nothing online.
Okay. All right, so we've already gone through the upcoming schedule, I think kind of next, what am I missing? Supply batching, so it looks like I took your volunteer training, so I'll give it over to you, Victoria, for the supply batching.
You're good. Yeah, so just the pit schedule, take a look at it, because there's nothing new on here. Your volunteers, last thing about training, after training, trained volunteers will get their schedule in email by January 19th. If they don't have that in email by the 19th, I ask them to check their spam folder, because as we discussed in the beginning, I have a nasty habit of ending up in people's junk mail. So please ask your team members and whatnot to be on the lookout for that and to reach out to me on the 21st if they haven't gotten that yet. And then that email will also include their deployment center, and we ask everybody to show up at their deployment center 15 to 30 minutes early. Also, volunteers after PIT will receive a list of a survey, a follow-up survey, and also a list of volunteer opportunities and donation opportunities. Those donation opportunities are not monetary donation opportunities, but they are items, supply donations. So if your organization has volunteer opportunities that you want to share, or if you have donation requests that you want, please send that to me so that I can send it out to people. Otherwise, I'm gonna start making up a list, well, obviously not making it up, but I'm gonna have to make a list on my own, and your organization might not be included. So let me know if you have anything to add to that. And then batching will be Monday, the 22nd. If you are not one of the people on this list for participants for batching or pickup, for batching, we will batch our PIT supplies, that's the bus passes, the surveys, all that stuff, at Holy Centers, and then we will ask a few of the different deployment center leads to come and pick supplies up. April, you're included in those emails, but I assume that Grace and Nate will probably be picking supplies up, but I included you in that just so you have the information. And that's really it. Let me know if you have any questions about that.
I'll just contribute, we're not printing as many paper surveys as we have in years past, so there'll be less supplies, less clipboards, pencils, all that going out to all the deployment locations. And then the resource cards, the county has updated, the Palm, like trifold homeless, help for the homeless card. I'm waiting to get that new card, and then we'll also have CASA, really, the center, what is that called? The center, that Justice Center, and CASA cards to distribute as well.
Awesome.
As well as the bus passes, which the bus passes are the incentive again this year.
Flamingo bus passes this year. We will also, once again, have, as you all know, lanyards, and then we will have those same pens that have the styluses. Volunteers are welcome to keep the lanyards and the pens as souvenirs, as a little replacement for the t-shirts. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that.
Victoria?
Yes.
So question, I know last year, just thinking about, I mean, there's really not much other need for someone to use a lanyard for something else. I don't know if our message could be to try and get as many of those back collected and just let them keep the stylus pen. Just so we can reuse, plus then we have to stuff them and everything each year too, as we have replacements, but.
So Era, I'll tell you, and I know you did a deployment zone, but in St. Pete, we asked for lanyards back, but if someone really wanted it, we're like, yeah, keep it. But most
Yeah, and
people
that's,
give
yeah,
it
that's
back.
fine.
But someone won't.
Yeah, and that's fine. I just thought maybe the message would be, if you'd like to turn them back in, that way we can reuse them versus, hey, go ahead and, making it the exception if people want to keep them versus trying to make the point, hey, here's a box, you can just drop them in and keep your stylus.
That works for me. I'm happy to update that messaging. Trainers, did all the trainers hear that? I'll make sure that I push that out to trainers as well. But trainers on the line, please make sure that you hear that. So we are going to update our messaging to volunteers. Please keep your pens, but return the lanyards if you can, so that we can reuse them. Thank you, Era.
So following batching pickup, same thing, if you are on that list, please make note, but there also should be communication from Victoria for those who are picking up, and possible alternative times if need be between you and Dana, or for all three of you.
I think you can probably reach out to either of us. If you reach out to me about it, ultimately I'm gonna get you in touch with Dana about scheduling.
So that says at the bottom to get in touch with Victoria or Dana for alternative pickup times.
Yeah. And usually that's just Florida Dream Center, because they're not open on a Monday.
And now I want to open for discussion. I know there's been a lot of kind of questions and just trying to get, we're in the home stretch now. So I want to make sure we have an open discussion for anyone that had questions to discuss here, how things are going, logistics, something you may be missing, to contribute.
Yeah, I have a question. It's Monica from Florida Dream Center. I know that we are like one of the places that run things a little differently, but I just want to make sure that we're running things like on my end smoothly. We have our own volunteers and we have staff that are also doing the surveys. Do I and staff need to register, number one? And do our volunteers need to register? Because I just sent the volunteer list over to Victoria.
That is a good question. Thank you for asking, Monica. So Florida Dream Center volunteers do not register through the main link. Y'all just need to send me a list of everybody who will be volunteering with you so that I can make sure that they have their set up for the survey. And you need to do that at least a few days before you do training so that the county's team can get their information into the system.
Okay. I sent that list over to you Friday, Victoria. I just want to make sure I wasn't missing a step. So thank you.
If you have that already, then I will get that over to the county team today. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Victoria, I had dropped an email the other day. I don't know if we have anybody that's reaching out to just give a heads up to the libraries again. And then also like if PD or any of the street outreach teams has contacts with general like commercial centers or anything like that, usually we try and let the managers know ahead of time, you know, that you might see people with clipboard, or not clipboards anymore, but with point in time lanyards out and what it is, so they don't scare us off their property. Same with PSTA bus stops too.
Dana, with deployment, were you guys able to get a sign and get some of that messaging out? Do we need to follow up on that? Dana? I'll follow up with her. Is any?
Dana's on and I can see she just came off mute. We can't hear you though, Dana.
Forgot who her co-chair.
It's me. I'm not trying to see if she said anything, but not that I'm aware of. Outside of the libraries, I know that we were trying to get that information out to them. PSTA, that's a good question. I mean, Directions for Living is in St. Pete anyway, is already on the PSTA property, so I don't think that will be an issue. But it really is just a matter of like, in St. Pete, I can't speak to other places, the bigger businesses, and that might be.
I know there's been in the past discussions about like contacting the Walmarts and the Wawas and those sort of entities. And I don't know what that status is on that.
I don't think so.
I see St. Pete libraries have been contacted, Largo libraries. A couple months ago, I did the cooperative email, so I can send that out again. I also know that the Clearwater would be notified by Clearwater. They're pretty active with the Clearwater team. And then I can notify PSTA because I'm doing that training with Ross on next week.
Ross definitely knows it's coming.
Yeah. And whoever else is, so.
Actually, I gotta give it to PSTA. They reach out to me every year in like October or something super early, like, okay, how many bus passes do you need for PIT this year? So you gotta give it to PSTA. They're on top of it. Okay, so is the plan then, Dominique, did you want deployment to try reaching out to some of those
That's what we've done in the past, so I can connect with Dana afterwards to see who's been contacted and where we're at.
Based off of where we're deploying people to.
Correct. So like the day labor sites that normally, I do know Dana made contact with,
Right.
she was attempting contact with them, but I don't think she hadn't made it yet with some of them.
Oh, Ross actually just hopped on as well, if you wanted to ask about the SBA.
Ross, we're just asking on the day after the 25th to make sure all PSTA transfer stations and things will not know that we are coming with clipboards and phones. So
Yes.
if you could please help us with messaging on that, Ross, I assume you're doing that already, but.
I certainly will, but what would help me out a lot is if you can send me a photo or some image of the lanyard that people will be wearing, because we're used to seeing t-shirts.
That's great, thank you, Ross, that's a good suggestion for all the locations, actually.
Yeah.
If Victoria, could you send that to him and me as well?
Send a photo of lanyard. I will, Erica, I think even has them at home right now, so I'll ask her to send y'all a photo.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ross.
And my kids' school just announced early dismissal, FYI, if you have kids. Mine's private.
April's like, absolutely not. You keep my child. You keep my child until we have an agreement.
I just got the email for Pinellas private, okay, Pinellas public still good? You're still good? Okay, I don't
Send it to you,
know.
hopefully get.
Waffle House still open, we're good.
They still have after-school activities at Pinellas Public Schools even. They haven't even canceled after-school stuff yet.
They haven't even canceled after school arrows.
They just, mine just did it now, so,
Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
All right, then we have, so any other open discussion?
Victoria, did you get the new PowerPoint, the adjusted one for the, like, you going 100 miles an hour?
The what plus an hour?
The training PowerPoint video?
Yes, that should have been sent to you. Did you not get it in your email yet?
I had the one the other day and you were like, Mighty Mouse. You were like going 900 miles an hour, I guess you said.
Oh, yeah. You should have the
I
updated
should.
one in your, but I'll send it to you.
No, if it's in there,
I'll send it again.
I'll check for it.
Yes, there was, so the training video, you might all notice, is actually at 1.25 times speed. Some of it might run a little bit fast, but I think largely it probably helps people get through it a little bit quicker and pay a little bit more attention. That one part though, I had like 4 minutes where I was at 2 times speed on accident. That was an accident. I did not mean to be like, career as an auctioneer.
Good. That was my podcast.
Thank you. Yeah, so I can definitely, just in case, I'll resend that and the video and everything as well. Resend training stuff today. I'm also, again, going to resend the email about training to all of our registered volunteers today. I know that some people have an issue getting that. I'm gonna resend that. If in the morning, folks are telling you they still haven't got that email, please ask them to check their junk folder. And because if I went into their junk folder for this, I might go into their junk folder for the volunteer schedule as well. So please ask them to double check that, and please let me know if there are people not getting my email. Yeah.
How about that?
Meeting adjourned. That was nice.
How are we still on power? I don't understand, we're still on Zoom. Y'all can't see this online, but we're having a,
I think we lost some.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think we lost everybody. That was-
No, we can see it. It's flashing. Yeah, we
You see the dance party?
That's crazy.
there's a poltergeist in here. All right.
Victoria,
Yes.
Well, we're not lost yet, right?
Oh, here we go. Everybody, I don't know what's going on here. You can see above me, like hair is like changing color because of the light. I don't know, we've lost power. They're working on construction upstairs from this room. So Blossom, I know you had a question. Sorry, what was it before we adjourned?
That's okay, and it doesn't even pertain to everyone, so I don't, if you just wanna hang after, it's up to you.
Okay, okay. In that case, does anybody else have anything for the good of the group? All right, Dominique, 1040. Hey, Pastor Andy. Oh, a transformer blue. Great. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. All right.